Hey everyone, welcome back. And in this episode, we're gonna round up our claims authentication and authorization, and we're just gonna do a little bit of code cleanup. I'll show you how to authorize controllers as well. So first of all, let's fire up the application, and let's take a look at our admin page. From our admin perspective, I'll put this to the side, and let's open up another window here. And let's use manager. Okay, so same as before, if you remember, we have this admin page that you can only view if you're an admin, right? So what I want to show you is if we go to our pages admin index, or sorry, rather layout, and let's copy this if statement here, and let's put above the store manager. And let's say that we want to see the manager policy being what's it called, executed. So what I'm trying to demonstrate here is first that you have to learn how to spell correctly, because if you don't know how to spell correctly, you're gonna run into errors like this. But the main thing here is that the admin doesn't have necessarily has a higher access level, but we still wanted to see what the manager is doing. So if you can see on the admin panel, the admin can see the admin menu, but he can't see the store menu, and we still want the admin to see that. So even if we authorize it at that level, so I'm going to show you how to sort of make the admin inherit the manager policy as well. So let's go to our startup, and this is basically what we want to change. So the way to think about this is the manager policy requires you to either be a manager or an admin. Okay, so let's copy this, and from our policy, let's remove require claims, and what we want to do is we want to add require assertion. All assertion is basically an if statement. Assertion, all you're basically sorting. So if you meet this condition, you're good. So without rambling on for too long, let's keep going. We access our context, and let's take a look at what this is. This is our authorization handler context. And in here, we can find our user, and we can access has claim. And this pretty much works same as require claim. So we want to take role manager. Let's put this here. And let's actually space this out a little bit. And let's put this on a new line. And here, let's put another one. So a pipe. So context user has a claim manager or has claim admin. Okay. And let's comment this one out. Let's go here and let's refresh these two. But obviously run again. All right. I'm not sure what happened there, but yeah. So you can see now our admin can view everything that the what's it called the manager can. So basically, what we did there is the admin now meets the manager policy, but the manager does not meet the admin policy. So the next thing we want to do is, at the moment, if the user is authorized, he can still go into this controller, and basically because it's not authorized, he can access any of these methods, even if we go to Postman. So I have this program on my computer that basically allows me to make curl requests. So I'll just make a new request. So let me copy the URL here, and I will go slash, let's say, products, right? And I'll send it, and you can see that I can see my products here. And even though I'm getting them from the API here, which is an admin controller, and this postman here isn't authenticated. nor is it authorized. So first of all, let's authorize this. And now let's call. Okay, and now we get this, so let's view this preview. And you can see that it's trying to redirect the postman to our login screen. So, right. So we basically are saying, right, this controller is now authorized. So you need to be authenticated before you can access this controller. So let me close that. And now what we can do is we can set policy, manager or admin. Okay, and if we add it like this, the user has to be both a manager and an admin. So at this point, only the admin will be able to hit it because the manager doesn't meet the requirement of the admin. So really, we want the manager to be able to do all of these things. So let's remove the admin from here, and yeah, basically only the manager can do the manager and the admin should be able to do these things. So what I want to actually do is split this up into 3 different controllers. So let's make a products controller.cs. Let's take this, cut it, put it here, and let's just do all these imports. Let's bring in our context and rename the constructor. Get rid of this and inherit from controller. Okay, next thing we want to do is we want to get this product. So at the moment you see it's highlighting all of this stuff. Don't want that. So just say match case, and then it should just match only this word. And let's remove it. And let's clean up these slashes as well. Now, again, I'm just going to open up Postman and I'm going to double check that the routing is correct. Okay, so again, if we try to hit products, you see it says no contents. And if we try to hit this like so, we're getting our product. So what's going on? So when we say stuff like this, we're basically saying override the route. So what you can do is basically say route and say that the first thing that you want is a controller, right? So let's try to send this again. And you can see that right now it's returning your default page. And if we go to products, we get our product. All right, good. So this is basically the general template we want to use for the rest of our controllers that we're going to split this up into. So let's make let's double check the names, stocks. Yeah, stocks controller.cs. Let's copy all of this stuff and put it here. Now we can take from our admin, let's take our stocks. Let's put them here. Let's clean up a little bit. Okay. Cool. And now let's do the same for our orders. Quickly go into stocks and let's remove these stocks over here. Cool. So let's grab this control route here. Let's take this stuff, cut it, put it here, grab the constructor, rename blah blah blah. You know the drill. Should be pretty obvious. Remove the routing. And let's make sure we get rid of the slashes. Format this a little bit. And stocks, make sure we get rid of the slashes here as well. Cool. Now what we can do, we left with this admin controller, and I want to actually use this for something else. And I will be renaming it as well. So let's take this authorize policy and let's put it here. Make sure we import it. And we want to do the same for our stocks controller. And here as well. Alright, and for our admin controller, we want to specify admin only. Let's quickly double check that it all works. Let me close Postman again, and let me refresh the browser here. And some things aren't loading, and we're probably going to get a 404, so yes, that's fine. Let's go into www.root.js admin, and let's open up these 3 files here. And you see where we have the /admin? We want to find it, and we want to just remove this. We want to do the same in our products. Let's find it and remove it. And same in our orders. Find it and remove it. Let's refresh this. Control F5 to refresh JavaScript, and here it is. So it works. Let's edit. Cool. So it looks like it's working to me. Let's close everything. So right-click, close all documents. So orders, product, stocks controller is working. Now onto the admin controller, and because we already have an admin page, really what I wanted to make is this configure users thing we have. So what I really want to rename it to is a user controller, and let's call it users controller. Let's rename the file here as well. Not users, but users. Let's make a public action result. Create user. And let's go into our application layer and create a service for this. So users, user admin, users admin / create user.cs. So what I want to do here, create a user. So I want to give my admin the privilege to be able to create managers. Okay. So let's let's inject a user manager and identity user. Whoa. Make sure you select the property at the bottom to use ASP.core identity. Get this user manager and let's make it global. Okay, and now let's public void do and public class request. And in here, let's create a string username and string password. Okay, and then let's actually, because this is going to be an asynchronous operation, so let's call async task. And let's just return bool for simplicity and return true at the end. And in here, what we want to do, let's go into our program.cs. And here we'll recreate the user. Let's copy all this code and let's just remove our admin right here. And password, we don't really need this actually, so we should be good with a request username. Let's rename this. Make sure don't put a semicolon there. And let's create await and get rid of the get awaiter and get result. Now let's store the result. And another thing we want to get is we obviously want to get the claim here. So let's copy these rows and stick them in here. Import the claim. There we go. And again, same, we want to call await here instead of get awaiter, because if you do it this way, this is going to block the thread. And when you use the awaiter, like so, this is going to return control for the thread. So while it's creating a claim and adding it to the user, it's going to return control to the application, and the application will be able to resume doing other calls. So when we do the .get awaiter, that's a synchronous operation, and that blocks your thread. So really, we don't need to store these results, or for simplicity purposes, I'd want to keep it like this. So another thing I wanted to show here is we're not gonna be doing it this way, but we're gonna use dependency injection to create this service. All right, so let's go right to the bottom here. Let's go to services and add transient. And in here, let's type in create user, like so. And in our dependency injection, let's create a constructor again, and let's inject create user. Create user. Okay. So now we have a create user service, and we can call it like so. Make this asynchronous. And request, and we'll need a from body and request. So you can see the difference between this and our typical requests that we've been making is really. Let's create an OK. That was quite distracting. Is that these ones, when we put them into our services, we also have to pass our context. So we inject it into the controller, and then we pass it to our service. Here, we inject the service rather than injecting the DB context, and basically anything else in our dependency injection will get automatically injected into the constructor here. So let's make a users.js. Let's copy everything from stock, and let's make this fairly simple. Let's close that, and let's just remove everything up to here. And let's do username. Mounted. I will delete this, but for comments, this is something you can do, and get all users. So you would be able to do stuff like amend users, and really, this is something we already implement. Sorry, we already implemented this 3 times for 3 different logics. You should be able to do the same with users, really, at this point. So let's do create user. The reason I'm showing you this is purely because this time we are injecting it as a service. I just want to show you that it does work and that you can do it this way. So let's go to users, let's go post, and let's do username, this username. Okay, so console log, loading false. We don't have loading, so we can remove this. Cool. Let's go to admin and let's make another another Razor page. Let's call it configure users.cs. And let's do just copy everything here, paste this into here, and let's remove the whole body here. And inside the div, let's create an input. Let's vModel bind it to our username. And then what we want to do is we want a button with 2 T's. And we want to say create. And remember double at because we're in the Razor namespace. So to cancel out the first Razor syntax at, you just put a second at. Same as if you want to cancel out a backslash, you do 2 backslashes. So unclick create user. Make sure we call it as a method. And this is create user, post. And cool. Let's try run this. So we have the admin, and let's go to configure users. Right, and actually in our layout, that's where we have to change the route. So configure users, fresh. Which window is it? The gamble was not successful. Let's close this. Okay. Let's refresh this. Let's go to the admin page. Okay. Sign in as an admin again. Cool. So let's go to configure users, and here's our configure users page. And notice that we can still go to configure users on this. What's called on this screen, and that's because we haven't authorized it here. So let's go ahead and do this. Conventions, and instead of authorize folder, we want to authorize page and admin slash configure users. And if you see, there's a second overload where we can specify the policy. So all we have to do is, if you guessed it correctly, just say admin at the end. Let's run this again. Fresh. Admin. Configure users. Let's go into here. And you see it's trying to redirect to access denied, but we don't have that page. So now the store manager can't access that, and we're protecting this page by policy. So let's create something like manager2. I'll create, and it doesn't work because reasons. Right. Okay, I made a big mistake. So first of all, let's make sure we import the users.js file. And let's double check here, so everything else seems fine. Let's refresh this. Cool. And again, manager number 2. Okay, here we are. Let's press F11. Here we are, creating our manager. Cool. Press OK. OK. Let's go into our SQL server. Let's grab our shops tables. Let's look into the users table, view data, and there's our second manager. Okay, so but yeah, hopefully you enjoyed these series, guys and girls. If you like them, like, subscribe. If you have any questions, leave a comment. I'll try to answer any questions you have. See you in the next episode.